thank you, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jon Blok, and today we have a powerhouse guest for you. Manu Seve, CEO and founder of Alphaa.io, is leading the Web3 revolution with blockchain solutions in the real world. Yes, good stuff for sure. You know, it's really interesting that we've crossed a threshold with technology that we now have to define where our events are taking place. I mean, which world, which dimension? Saying you're hosting an event or going to an event just isn't enough anymore. We need coordinates and links to pull up or even beam in. But no matter which world or metaverse you frequent, people are all the same. We still have dreams, desires, and fears. Even on this yellow brick road of crypto and Web3, there's always fear of lions and tigers, and especially bears. Oh my. Let's get on with the show. Welcome to ROK the BLOK. I'm your host, Jon Blok, and today our special guest is Manu. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Just
Excellent.
Got back from Miami Art Basel, so bear with my exhausted self, but here we are.
Totally cool. Thank you for making the time. I know you're super busy. So let's get right into it. So crypto as a whole, right? So technology and crypto. A lot of crazy things, a lot of headlines. What do you personally love about this whole space?
It's the Wild West, right? So there's a lot of weird shit that goes down on a daily basis on this space. Like obviously what we're living through right now with FTX is kind of like an example of why we need more oversight and more regulation in this space. But it's also extremely exciting because we are in the midst of building the future. So, you know, if I had asked my childhood self what I wanted to be, it would have been either astronaut or inventor or something of the sorts. And it's kind of awesome to think that that's exactly what I'm doing, right? We're part of this new wave of technologists that is setting the standards for how the world of tomorrow is going to operate. So, you know, there's so many different things about it that excites me, but just the prospect of leaving my own fingerprint in a whole universe is kind of awesome.
Wow. And talking about fingerprints, your logo for Alphaa literally looks like a fingerprint, and you're doing that with many pieces. So first explain, so what is Alphaa? What is this concept of Alphaa?
Sure. So Alphaa is an enterprise SaaS solution that uses Web3 tools to solve three problems: authenticity, resale, and community building. You know us from our art project, which is basically where the Alphaaio solution came from, since we were using blockchain very early on to certify physical artwork and to solve those three problems in the art industry. And the art industry may be one of the toughest, most complicated industries in the world. I like to say that if you can get a product off the ground in the art industry, you can do anything. And that's exactly, our experience. So we started with art, then we moved through collectibles. We're doing sports loyalty. We're doing use cases that you can only imagine in real estate and, across the board, because blockchain technology has the potential to solve those three problems repetitively for a lot of different industries.
Wow, that is amazing. So you also have a platform where you are building for your, clients or collaborators, correct? Where you can have like rewards and those types of things. Tell us a little bit. And you're doing something with 8 Beverages. So what does that platform look like, and how does that relate to 8 Beverages?
For sure. So yeah, our platform is available for any company or any individual that, is looking to use blockchain to solve, once again, those three problems: authenticity, resale, and community building. And that's exactly what we're doing with 8 Beverages. We built them a loyalty platform, which is the easiest interface in the blockchain universe. And I feel like the result of that was our experience this week with Art Basel, when we unveiled the platform and when we had the triggers through the art installation, the Find the Banana across town. So if you were to scan, the QR code on the side of the banana, you'd be entered into an experience that we created through a one-click magic link in your phone or in your email. You would have a custodial wallet created, and with that, an NFT minted directly with no friction, no need for MetaMask wallet, no need to kind of like have any knowledge of what Web3 is. So, we're rethinking the process of Web3 and making it available for anyone. We like to say that our infrastructure is grandma friendly, so it's really, really easy to use. And we're doing that for a number of other companies, not just in beverages. We have a project that's coming up for the Milwaukee Bucks, which is also kind of like supercharging loyalty and engagement with the customer experience. We have, endless projects that I can't announce just yet with, big luxury brands, which are way more focused on authenticity and on connecting physical and digital items, which is where kind of like we do our best work. I really like the term phygital. I feel like, it is the future. Everything is going to be a phygital. And, we're kind of like really thinking outside of the box on how those relationships should be built and what that means in terms of, the bond that you're going to create with your customer that is willingly providing their data to you, not being shoved under a big tech company that then does whatever they want with you.
That's amazing. So wallets, there's like 1,000,001 wallets out there. It can be really confusing. How are you tackling the wallet issue? I'm not going to say issue. How are you tackling wallets and how are you making it easier for first-time users?
Yeah, we build custodials for every project. And, where our custodials are really cross-chain, which makes it kind of like sweet. And also really hard to hack because, even though we are on public blockchains, our systems are operated with, our own infrastructure with private keys in a separate server, fully cryptographed. It would be very hard for someone to know which chain we're using for specific projects, which chain we're using for specific elements. And at the end of the day, the wallet is, a display system. The transactions themselves need to be vetted by, our own infrastructure, our own APIs. And this makes it possible for, one single wallet to display a lot of different chains on the same block and a lot of different minting engines on the same block. So, for the sports project that we're building, we have actually 3 different minting engines in the wallet itself. So we're using Polygon for commemoratives and some access features that we're building in. We're using Wax for physical collectibles. We've always used Wax for physical collectibles just because of the structure of the smart contract. It allows more metadata, but it is a little more expensive to mint on. And this also means that through microservices, our wallet can accept fiat payments, it can accept crypto payments through different APIs. And so it's kind of like the best of all worlds, but it feels just like Web 2. We don't require a crazy passcode phrase. We use 2-factor authentication on every login. So every time you log in, you will receive a magic link associated to your phone number. And so it could not be any safer.
Oh, that sounds awesome. You talked about, describe it as being grandma friendly. So with everything, there's a huge education component. Like, how are you tackling, how are you handling that education component overall with all of the things that you're doing and what's your experience in that? Is it working? Some challenges?
Yeah, could not agree more. I feel like, one of the biggest challenges in the sector right now is just education, and especially with all of the terrible news flow that we've been experiencing this year from, the depegging of Terra Luna, which kind of like kicked off this entire effect, to what's happening now with FTX. And it's showing people that, blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies are different things. Blockchain technology is the system that made it possible for cryptocurrencies to exist and not the other way around. And, it's speaking in layman's terms. It's, making them understand where the blockchain would fit in different use cases. And so we've taken a stance early on to, provide really easy to understand short video content in our socials, and it's been very, very well accepted. We have a series of master classes, we have a series of masterminds, and we're constantly filming everything that we do because we know that content is going to be very, very valuable down the line. So we also have an upcoming video series coming with Neue House. We did the Web3 Summit here in LA with them, and we videotaped every single panel. We then watched every single panel and kind of like took from it what would be best for the end user to kind of like absorb really quickly. And so we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep doing that in a repetitive form, and we're going to keep putting out as much as we can. And because we believe that it's a value to the industry, it's a value to the ecosystem. And so that, the average Joe and the average person can have access to, what it is that us, the insiders, are working on.
That's really cool. And so it sounds like everything that's connected to Alphaaio, Alpha Inc. that you're doing, it's a broad ecosystem, right? And so how can people, what's the pathway to connect with you or get involved in that? If you are an artist, an art enthusiast, or, a general collector or curious person?
For sure. So if you're a company, well, I'll start with companies, even though you didn't ask, because that's just kind of like our biggest client right now. Just go to alphaa.io. And with that, you'll be able to request a demo. You'll be able to talk with our team, and we'll be able to tell you if, you're a candidate for a white label, or if you're a candidate for an off-the-shelf product, because there's two options. And if you're an artist and you're looking to sell, physical artwork, just go to Alphaa Inc. and someone will be in touch as well about, adding you to the platform. We have thousands of artists on there. If you are a artist looking to just certify your work and use our NFT system for certification of physical art or digital art, once again, go to alphaaio.com/creator. And so, feel free to reach out to us. We're on social, Alphaaio. I'm Manu Seve, and, we're here to answer any questions. Like, it's a complicated world, this blockchain world, and there's no question that is silly. And, I feel like people are sometimes just embarrassed, right, of speaking up, and they shouldn't. We're here for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So another question, like you said, it's happening with FTX, and like trust is a big thing that's come up, right, in this whole sector. It's all about trust, and it seems like in the beginning we really leaned into the technology, but it's going back to those old school roots, right? Humans to humans, believing in somebody, a person of their word, and trust. How do you build in that basic human factor into your ecosystem, the things that you guys are doing?
Strong partnerships and really vetting the people that we're working with. Like, we've been in the blockchain space for almost 10 years. So we've gone through, I would call this almost 3 crypto, bubbles that just burst, and you're kind of like almost thrown back to square one. And they always cut funding to minorities, right? They never cut funding to the people that look exactly like the venture capital partners. Let's just put it that way. And so that has forced us to kind of like always really, really listen to the market and always really listen to our clients, because even though we have raised a little bit of venture funding, I would call us practically bootstrapped. And that has taught us to, be very transparent and to just provide a product that, is exactly what the client is signing up for. And I feel like, we're happy to kind of like show what happens inside the platform, to show other use cases. And if you're, new to this market and you're working with a partner that doesn't want to show that, or is being very secretive, or is, not bringing in essential information to the table, I would take it with a grain of salt. Because if you're putting forward projects that, have a place in the world, you shouldn't be embarrassed about talking.
That is such a good tip and suggestion. Game changer. Definitely rewind that, folks, and listen to that one again. That was a really, really great tip. All right. So, what's your vision of the future? And with all this that's going on, where are we headed? What's your grand vision?
So I continue to believe that, and I feel like if you talk to anyone in this space, they'll say the same thing, that blockchain is going to be a part of everyday life and everything we do in the next 10 years. More precisely, I think 2024 is going to be a year that we see mass adoption really, really hitting. We have lots of projects that are bringing in loyalty to the masses, most notably Starbucks. And, there's a lot more coming with our sports loyalty platforms, the teams that we're working in. We have endless use cases in ticketing as well, and other areas. And those will be kind of like the first entry point, right? So it's something that the average user isn't even going to know is going to be in the blockchain, but they're going to be collecting really cool utility from it, because you can now actually track behavior. You can now actually track things that we were already doing. And I feel like the airline points did that really well, right? In being able to quantify how you're traveling and providing you with that upgrades and other things. We'll be able to do that for everything with blockchain. We'll be able to kind of like have a loyalty program for everything in your life that really matters to you. which means you'll be able to be compensated for those actions. Like, for example, what we're doing with the sports platform is we're actually able to rank fans and level of participation. So if you're a super fan and you're in stadium and you hit that threshold, we're able to airdrop you floor seats, and you can go move to your new floor seats, even if you were in the nosebleeds before. And so it's really cool to kind of like see those behaviors that are making the world more equitable and more fair and more transparent at the same time. And I feel like that's going to be applied to a lot of different things. I feel like identity will most certainly be moved into NFTs. You won't receive a birth certificate when you're born. You'll have an NFT, and that'll attach all of your personal information to it. Same thing for cars, same things for real estate. And so, you know, if you're new to the blockchain space and you think it has nothing to do with you, I would take some time to kind of like process that and kind of like think of this as the early 90s and the .com boom, and you know, think of blockchain as the new internet, and it's going to change the way that we do everything.
That's it. Mic drop. Manu, thank you for taking the time and chatting with us today on ROK the BLOK. Appreciate you.
Really appreciate it, and excited to continue chatting.
Lowkey Giant.